Court jails Nigerian professor Udok for 3 years over false election results in 2019 polls. All these professors that are conducting INEC election, all of them, they are the same thing. All of them. Look at, you see a professor and you see that, you think that, oh, this is a professor that would have integrity and all of that. But at the end of the day, all of them are the same thing. A state high court in Oyo, Akwa Ibom State has sentenced a university professor to 3 years in prison for perjury and publishing false election results during the 2019 general elections. The convicted academic Professor Udok of the University of Oyo was found guilty of announcing and publishing fabricated results in the SN Udim State constituency election where he served as the returning officer. Exactly. They will say, come and do returning officer as a professor, you'd have integrity at least. So if you are doing this kind of a thing at an election, what would you be doing in your school where you are a professor, where you are a lecturer? You'll be collecting money to give result, abi? Because obviously that's what you'll be doing. If you can do something like this and fabricate results at an election, of course you fabricate results for your student as well. Abi, you do the same thing. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) prosecuted him, and in addition to the prison term, the court imposed a 100,000 fine. Oh wow! So now INEC dey prosecute person. Now wow! Wahala be like that. So when are they going to prosecute? What's it called? Mahmoud Jacobo? Because he needs to be prosecuted as well. They need to prosecute him. That man, he's the cause of what we are going through right now. So they need to prosecute him as well. The case marks the second high-profile conviction of a Nigerian professor for electoral fraud. In 2021, another academic professor, Peter Ogban, was jailed for 3 years for falsifying results in Akwa Ibom Northwest senatorial election to favor then APC candidate Godswill Akpabio, now the Senate president. Can you imagine? So obviously, that man is not supposed to be he was not supposed to be a governor. Talk more of being a Senate president right now. It is courtesy of professors that are supposed to come and be returning officers and do the right thing, but they are always doing something else. Ogban, a former University of Calabar lecturer, was convicted for manipulating results to boost Akpabio's votes against his opponent. He was convicted for manipulating results to boost Akpabio's votes against his opponent, Christopher Ekpenyong, of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). No be today they don dey rig election for APC. No be today. So even after that took them to court, he knows that it is not today that APC has been rigging election. Akpabio has since denied any involvement in electoral fraud. And before Uncle, will you accept? Will you accept that you did electoral fraud? You will not accept now. Meanwhile, the cases against both professors were initiated by former INEC President Electoral Commissioner REC in Akwa Ibom, Mike Igini, who successfully secured their convictions before retiring in 2022. Uduk was first arraigned in December 2020 after a warrant was issued for his arrest the previous month due to his repeated failures to appear in court for the start of his trial. The professor pleaded not guilty to the 3 charges brought against him by Nigeria's Election Commission. However, the case faced multiple delays due to various reasons, including a change of defense lawyer of an incident where the defendant collapsed in the dock during cross-examination, and they must always faint now before uncle. At one point, Uduk accused the presiding judge of bias and requested his recusal, a request that was granted. The case was then reassigned by the state chief judge, but ironically it was returned to the same judge for continuation. Now, the judgment was initially set for 29th January but was postponed to today, Wednesday, 5th of February, after the defendant and his lawyer failed to appear in court citing health issues. When they've done something wrong, that is when they will now have health issues. That is when they will start fainting. You don't want to face the consequences of your action. All of a sudden, from nowhere, health issue just started. Now, in response to the prosecution's request, Justice Basin Kanang revoked the professor's bail and issued a fresh arrest warrant. That's very good. Uduk, dressed in a brown cassock, was later brought into court in a wheelchair. Their drama, in fact, they do pass Nollywood. He came in a wheelchair. If they shout fire, 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 now you stand up on that wheelchair and run. So we will know that, there's nothing wrong with you. You are just pretending. Face the consequences for your actions. Brought in a wheelchair shortly before the prosecution and defense announced their appearances, delivering the judgment, Justice Nkana ruled that the prosecution led by Clement or whoever known had successfully proven that Oduk knowingly published false election results while serving as the collation and returning officer. Citing Section 123 Subsection 4 of the 2010 Electoral Act as amended, which states that publishing false election results is punishable by up to 36 months in prison. The judge affirmed that the prosecution has made its case regarding the third charge of perjury. The judge referenced Section 118 of the Criminal Code Law, Cap 38, Law of Akwa Ibom State 2000, which defines perjury as knowingly giving false testimony in a judicial proceeding. While the court acquitted Oduk of the first charge announcing a false election result, it found him guilty on the other two counts, publishing false election results and perjury. However, as a result, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison for each count, with both sentences running concurrently. That's very good. Hopefully other professors too, like Professor Jega, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, they can face the consequences of their actions, because they are the ones that has caused the ones that we are going through right now. It is well. Oyekachim Benjamin says selective justice remains the greatest flaw of the Nigerian judiciary. If electoral fraud is truly being addressed, then the principal culprit, Professor Yakubu Mahmoud, should not be exempted. Exactly, yes, so neither should the beneficiary of the said election walk free. Sadly, in Nigeria, the law applies only to those it chooses, while the powerful remain untouched until justice is served without bias. The cycle of impunity will persist. How long can a nation thrive when justice is selective? I don't know. But really, Jegatu, Mahmoud Yakubu as well should also face the consequences of their actions, because Mahmoud Yakubu now Ogbologbo Riga, that is what he is. Peter L. Owoicho says the person whom this man compromised the election result for should also be punished. Yes, if our law is really working in this country, it is injustice to punish this bad and heartless man alone, while the main person who used money to induce him is left to go freely. Arukechudi says the criminal should have been given more jail sentence. I'm telling you, what's 3 years? 3 years is too small, very small. Okosi Collins says, good for him. I wonder how some of these professors would allow some of these politicians that are not well schooled to influence them to manipulate election results. It is money. It is greediness that wants to finish them. The willingness to say, no, I cannot do this thing. No, I cannot. They cannot say no. It is greediness that wants to finish them. Isa Mohammed says, why is this selective? All of the Nigerian returning officers should go to jail. Yes, so all of them. All of them. No, none of them should be left behind. All of them should be sent to jail. Mahmoud Yakubu should be the first person that they should even go and arrest, because he's their Oga, what of them all. His own is worse. It is worse. My listeners, over to you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.